as much. Meanwhile, you have Shea Vanderbosch on the other side. No surprise to see her between the sticks.
Underway here at SU Soccer Stadium, it's Syracuse in the all-white and Wake Forest in the all-black. Syracuse, when we talked to head coach Nikki Thrasher-Adams, Sam, she said she wanted her team to play more in the middle of the pitch and not just lofting balls out wide and up top.
Right, exactly. You want to connect passes through the midfield to create those chances. Less hopeful long balls, because that's not going to work against a Wake Forest defense. As much as we've talked about their offensive threats, a defense for the Demon Deacons that has been rock solid all season long.
Demon Deacons pushing forward here early. Emily Murphy with the press. Murphy finally got her first goal of the season against Cal. Last season she was a prolific scorer for Wake Forest, but when we talked to Wake Forest head coach Tony DeLuz, he said Emily Murphy's been doing everything right, just getting unlucky with the finishing.
Right, he said a lot of shots off the post, crossbar, finally found the back of the net.
There's a chance early for Wake Forest to cross into the box, but doesn't find anyone, and it's Aaron Fleury, who is a forward for this Cuse team, but will have a lot of defensive responsibility today.
And that's a part of what this formation is, where you need players tracking back to support the back line, because against Florida State in that 4-3-3 formation, Nikki Thrasher-Adams said it, and it was on display, where the center backs were just completely exposed. So it's all about a full 90-minute performance going up against top 10 opponent after top 10 opponent. It's difficult, AJ, but I think the week of rest here is going to be really beneficial today for the Orange.
Shea Vanderbosch, one of the best keepers in the country. Last season, she led the ACC in saves, and she's been excellent once again this year for SU. There's Emily Colton on the ball now, ACC Offensive Player of the Week. As we mentioned, she comes over from UNC, but she joined this Wake Forest squad back in January, and that really helped her getting those reps in the spring.
That was big for her to be a part of the team for those spring practices and scrimmages, just to get acclimated, AJ.
Again, Wake Forest works the ball out wide. Going to the touchline, across into the box, and it's in! An early goal for the Demon Deacons, and they get on the board. It's Nikayla Hanks with the goal, and 3 minutes into the match, the Demon Deacons take the lead.
Well, it's a pitch-perfect start for Wake Forest on the road. Head coach Tony DeLuz said he didn't know if the whole week off would benefit or hurt the team. I'd say it's benefiting them so far. Just really good build-up play down the right side. You see Emily Murphy all the way to the end line, and Kaya Hanks just left wide open. We highlighted her at the top. You can't leave a dangerous goal scorer open like that. She's going to finish from that close range 10 times out of 10, and she scores her 4th of the campaign.
Of course, it was Kaya Hanks, who before Emily Colton got the ACC Offensive Player of the Week, she was the one getting the award. So just shows how good this Demon Deacons team has been playing. Vanderbosch lofts it long. It's going to be a difficult Wake Forest back line for Syracuse to break down today, as Aaron Fleury trots forward. Fleury moves inside the 18-yard box, rips a shot, but it's blocked by the Demon Deacons. Another chance that's blocked away again. Syracuse looking to level the score as Fleury goes down, but the referee indicates a foul in favor of Wake Forest.
Well, you have to like the response, though, AJ. If you're Nikki Thrasher-Adams from Syracuse, immediately going on the attack, Fleury staying with it. A great block at first, and then a second opportunity afterwards, really a third opportunity, and Fleury just getting a little bit too physical with Laurel Ansbro, who's one of those two center backs for Wake Forest that anchors that back line for the Demon Deacons. An early test already for that defensive Wake.
Syracuse pressing and forcing a Wake turnover momentarily. Demon Deacons do recover, but Syracuse will regain possession. Pushed out wide to Iba Oching, another one of those standout freshmen on this Syracuse side. Ball pushed forward. Dempsey Brown in the middle of the park today for Wake Forest, and when we talked to Demon Deacons head coach Tony DeLuz, he said that Brown, that is her best position, although in seasons past she's had to play as a center back, but he likes her in that midfield role.
Right, he stated that she's really a natural 6. That is her comfortable position, to your point, AJ. And yeah, when you need her to help out defensively, she can do that, but playing at the 6 is her most comfortable role. And there you see Tony DeLuce, 28th season in charge, and he's done wonders for this program over the years. And he said he's very happy with how this team is performing. The consistency has been crucial for Wake Forest game in, game out, AJ, and that's why they're a top 5 squad.
First corner today for Wake Forest. It's Emily Morris standing over the ball. She plays it short to Kaya Hanks. Hanks now crosses it in. It's cleared away, and Iba Oching possesses. Wake Forest gets it right back, though. Syracuse trying to spark a quick counterattack. Back to Emily Murphy on the near side. Christine Johnson there. She's been with the Icelandic youth national team, one of many players on this Wake Forest side that have represented their country.
It is really impressive when you look up and down this Wake Forest roster, how many of them have had youth national team experience, whether that's at the U20 level, U17 level at one point. And, you know, Christine Johnson, just one of several players who you can put on that list of representing their country on a global stage at such a young age.
Be a throw in for Syracuse as Kaya Hanks played it out. Whistle from our head referee, Justin St. Pierre. Referee was a factor in Syracuse's last game against North Carolina, a penalty that initially was not given. Then the referee went to the monitor and chose to change the decision in favor of a penalty for North Carolina, and that is what decided that match.
It is very interesting, AJ, just seeing, especially at the Division I level, all of the teams adjust to what's a more expansive video review that's available to the officials this season in college soccer. I think it's if it can be implemented, you absolutely want to use it. It's only for the better. But with that being said, it's still an adjustment for everyone involved.
Iba Oching throwing it in for the Cuse. Christine Johnson lofting it forward as Vander Bosch calls for it and collects it. There is head coach Nikki Thrasher-Adams for Syracuse in her 6th season with the team. Last year, of course, was a down year, lots of injuries, a thin squad, but this season's been much improved with a lot of really strong performances.
It really has been a 6-5-1 overall record. Yeah, they're on a 4-game losing streak, have lost their first 4 matches in ACC play, but even Wake Forest head coach Tony DeLuce said, yeah, this is a much improved Syracuse squad, and Nikki Thrasher-Adams stressed how they were a bit unlucky at times. It's all about finishing at this point because the chances have been there.
Another ball lofted into the box. Emily Murphy's first touch goes a little bit awry, but Wake Forest keeps possession. Here's a shot that's saved by Vander Bosch. Not the cleanest of saves, but the keeper's able to pounce on it.
Good job by Vander Bosch to quickly pounce on that rebound because it was a bit awkward for the junior goalkeeper for Syracuse. You see, I think Vander Bosch originally overread it as she was going to her near post and almost overran that ball as it ended up going more centrally towards goal. But a good adjustment on the fly, making sure to get on that rebound quickly because there's a lot of fast Wake Forest attackers who will be pouncing on those second chances.
It was Nikayla Small who started that attack, and then Kaya Hanks with the shot, and it was Hanks who got the opening goal in this match just 2 minutes in. That's what has the scoreline at 1-0. There's a foul there. Quick restart from Wake Forest. Brown feeds it into the middle. Colton works it out wide. Wake Forest has been prolific attacking on the far side. Hanks moves inside. Gives it to Murphy, back to Hanks, but it just doesn't find her in time. But again, Sam, really strong buildup from the Demon Deacons.
It's a great idea, no doubt about it. The 1-2 combination there as Morris tried to link up with Hanks. And you can see that's something they practiced as well. Hanks was ready to make that run. Morris knew she wanted it back one touch, just played a little bit too far out in front of her. But Wake Forest really dribbling in circles around Syracuse there.
Ball worked back to the keeper, Valentina Amaral, who, Sam, you mentioned, had an ACL injury last season. Wasn't fully ready for the start of this season, but since she's come back in goal, head coach Tony DeLuz has been really impressed with her.
He has been. There's a reason why she is the #1. Tony DeLuz stressed that, yeah, she's a sophomore, but she came here to be the starter for this Wake Forest team. As you said, just took a few games at the beginning of the season to settle in, recovering from that ACL, but this is now her 5th consecutive start. She is the #1 going forward the rest of the season, as long as she can stay healthy, of course.
Lauren Ansbro heading that ball out, and it'll be another Syracuse throw. And a Rupert on the ball as there's a whistle, and Rupert, too much contact for the referee's liking. There'll be another Wake Forest free kick.
That's just a good job by Nikayla Small to shield the ball from Rupert, make her go around you or go through you and draw the foul, and it was the latter. Wake Forest controlling a majority of the possession so far, AJ. Outside of that one chance from Erin Fleury, it hasn't been much possession for the Orange. They need to settle in going forward if they want any opportunities. And Nikki Thrasher-Adams talked about how it is an expansive Wake team. We see them quick restarts, trying to play at a quick pace, and that could open things up through the middle of the park. So rather than playing down the flanks, I'd like to see the Syracuse team try to connect through the middle and build up that way.
Wake Forest throw taken by Christine Johnson. Laid off nicely by Emily Murphy, but Syracuse regains possession. Possession with Iba Oching. Oching using her strength to maintain possession and draws another Syracuse throw.
And that's the relentless nature of this Wake team, AJ. Not one time when you're on the ball are you going to be comfortable. It's going to be press, press, press from the Demon Deacons front line, even when they're defending, trying to force you into a turnover. It's been working so far for the visitors.
And head coach Nikki Thrasher-Adams said that Wake Forest, they like to have the ball, they like to have that possession, but there are times where they're a bit too much possession, and that's where Syracuse can try and press and get those turnovers.
Absolutely. I mean, especially with Wake having the early lead. I mean, still a lot of soccer to be played, but the Demon Deacons will be very content to just really make Syracuse tired by moving the ball around effectively like this.
It's Emily Morris. She feeds it wide. She was looking for Hanks. That's intercepted by a Syracuse defender. Ball played wide to Christine Johnson. It's Emily Murphy on the ball once more. Murphy moves inside. Trying to get around one Syracuse defender, still has possession. Then she is brought down, but no whistle from the head official. Wake Forest still has possession, but it's intercepted by Syracuse, and now they can counter with Erin Fleury. Fleury has numbers forward, puts it wide into the corner. She was looking for Ashley Rouch, but too much behind that ball.
I like Fleury, you know, dribbling in the space there in the midfield. But you got to take advantage of using that space and connecting on a shorter pass, in my opinion. Meanwhile, at the other end of the field, AJ, we had this chance from Wake Forest where Emily Murphy dribbled past 1, 2, almost a third defender, and then the challenge from Kylan Grant. Looking at the replay, not too much in it from Grant, the senior, but Murphy still shaken up nonetheless. That was a tackle right at the edge of the box. But with how technical some of these attackers, such as Murphy, is for this Wake team, AJ, at some point, you got to make those type of challenges, 50-50 challenges. You got to be careful while doing it to not concede set pieces from dangerous areas, but a job well done on that occasion by Grant.
Here is Murphy, who was slow to get back up, but seems to be doing all right now. Murphy, one of those players who has played at the under-17 level for England.
Yeah, it is really an impressive resume for her. You know, someone who's from England, played with Birmingham City of the Barclays FA Women's Super League, also spent time in the Chelsea and Arsenal organization. So some really impressive stuff on a lot of these players' resumes, and Murphy just one example of that, AJ.
And of course, Syracuse, they've come up against plenty of teams with players with crazy resumes, and it's been that tough schedule that Syracuse has had in these last few days. And you mentioned it at the top, Sam, the travel as well that SU's had to deal with.
Yeah, you look at this, all ranked opponents as well on the road. You already knocked off that trip to Florida State, and then you had North Carolina at home, still a very talented team. Wake now, and then Notre Dame as well next week, so it's a gauntlet.
Cross in from Oching is cleared away by the Demon Deacons. Now it's with Emily Murphy. She has no numbers forward for Syracuse defenders back, but she maintains possession and feeds it out wide to Hanks. Back into Murphy in a foot race. It's a race that is won by Grant, and out for a Wake Forest throw.
Grant's been very solid at the back for Syracuse. Someone for this team who started every single game so far as a senior. She's been disciplined, has made the challenges when she's needed to. She wears that captain's armband for a reason.
Murphy rocks the captain's armband for Wake Forest. Grant spinning around a defender, crosses it into the box, but it's right to Vanderbosch, who collects. Vanderbosch this season has done more than just be a goalkeeper. She actually got an assist against St. Bonaventures, which even further shows how impressive of a keeper she is, that she can have great distribution.
Well, you just saw that punt as well that went well across midfield. I'm sure that's something Wake kept in mind doing its scouting report. My goodness.
Small brings. Still in the possession of Small. She rips a shot, but it's blocked by Grant. That was Wisbeck that fell to the ground, but now a potential counterattack for Syracuse. It's Rupert in possession. Still going down to the far line, cross into the box, doesn't find an SU defender, or an SU forward rather, and the shot in is over the bar by Delaney Stevens.
That's better from Syracuse. You can see Erin Fleury right there, a bit gassed after making the run. A beautiful ball out wide in the space. Rupert holding her run to make sure she was onside. And then just a quick move to the end line, across into a dangerous area. And a good job by Wake defensively to get back, because if that did not take a deflection, AJ, Fleury's on the end of that and probably slotting one home, if not testing Amaral from about 5 yards out.
Wake Forest a chance now to go back onto the attack as Murphy falls to the ground, and a foul on Wisbeck. And this SU crowd not too pleased with the officials, as they feel some calls not going in their favor.
That did seem like a little too physical from Wisbeck. Trying to play the ball, but just clipped Murphy in the end. We take a look at the replay here. Pass forward to Murphy, who was just waiting for that pressure to come, and then you see Wisbeck with the clip from behind. And I mean, the official, Justin St. Pierre, was right on top of it, had a clear vantage point.
Tavoshi will take this free kick. It's fed out wide. Murphy goes to the end line, crosses it in, and it just evades the foot of Emily Morris, but Wake Forest still with an opportunity. Another cross into the box, headed away by SU. Falls to Emily Colton on the edge of the box. She strikes, it's blocked away. Now it's Hanks with a shot, and it's just over the bar, but Wake Forest continuing to pressure this Syracuse back line.
Lots of chances. They are relentless. And an example of that on that last play, AJ, was Christine Johnson going all the way forward from the left back position, and really that second option after the original cross didn't get through, she put it back into the mix. Multiple shots, and there's Kylan Grant again with a block. She's been rock solid for Syracuse at that back line, and a good job by the Orange of staying disciplined there, AJ, getting bodies in front of the ball, making sure nothing got through on goal against Shea Vanderbosch.
Colton now falls to the ground. No whistle from the referee. Now there is a foul. And a Rupert getting whistled.
And I'm going to be honest, not the worst foul to take there if you're Rupert. You know, Wake Forest was moving in transition. You get a chance to set back up with all your numbers behind the ball if you're Syracuse and organize yourselves defensively.
Chavoshi sends it forward. It's a good ball into the 18-yard box, but it's just going to trickle out of play. But again, there you see how Wake Forest wants to play through the middle and getting those balls into the box.
A lot of times they don't waste a lot of time, and that was a great example of that. That's Tony DeLuz, the man you see right there. That's his coaching style. Almost 3 decades in charge of this Demon Deacons program, and this is one of the best teams he's put forth in his entire tenure. It's a very talented Wake team with the ability to play quickly in transition and really catch you off guard.
Syracuse looking to get back onto the attack. They've had a few spurts in this game. Near side here with Iba Oching. She looks towards Fleury. That's a combination that head coach Nikki Thrasher-Adams talked about and something that she's really impressed with early on in the season.
That was a pairing down the right side that she said she was very, very impressed with, and something that she hopes they can build off of from, you know, the last couple of games. So expect Syracuse, when they have the ball, to try to attack that right side, because it's the Oching-Fleury link-up that could really lead to some promise in the attacking third, AJ.
Chavoshi wandering all the way up the pitch from her center back position, and now it's Hanks. Gives it to Colton. It's worked back out wide for Wake Forest. Turnover, and Syracuse has the opportunity to counter. Not too many numbers forward, and Ashley Rauch chooses to keep possession. She is pressured immediately, and there's a whistle.
And that's smart play by Rauch. Her IQ is next level, and that's what head coach Nikki Thrasher-Adams appreciates a lot. She knows in that 6 role when to hold things up when you don't have numbers going forward, but also making smart decisions when on the ball, whether that's drawing a foul or when to distribute out wide.
Fleury has space out wide now. Working on Johnson. Now goes to Wisbeck, but out of play for a Wake Forest throwing.
And by the reaction of Wisbeck, she thought that was off of Wake, because she could have easily played that ball, but decided to let it go. And you see Erin Fleury telling Gabby Wisbeck, come on, drop the ball, let's play. Fleury, you know, plays on fumes sometimes. That's what a lot of people love about her game. She's determined to win, she hates to lose, and she's going full throttle every second. And it's led to some half chances for Syracuse so far, something to build off of, AJ.
Fleury this season just with the 2 goals, but Sam, as you were mentioning, she's done so much more for this team in starting attacks.
Right.
Ava Uribe out wide, sending a cross into the box, but again, that Wake Forest defense is on top of it. It'll be a first change for Syracuse as Maya McDermott checks into the game. McDermott coming in for Anna Rupert, and McDermott's a player who is a consistent starter early on in this season. She's started 11 games, did not start last week, Sam, and that was because of the formation change.
That's exactly right. I asked Nikki Thrasher-Adams about that because McDermott started the first 11 games of the season, and head coach Nikki Thrasher-Adams stressed that it had nothing to do with Maya McDermott. It was purely based on the formation change, with them shifting from a 4-4-2 to a 4-2-3-1, but still an impact player off the bench within this new formation.
It's Emily Murphy on the edge of the 18-yard box. She moves inside. A good Syracuse defense draws a goal kick.
And there you see Kylan Grant again doing her job, putting in a shift. We're only a quarter through the match, but I've highlighted her several times, AJ, and that's because she's done a solid job containing whoever's on the ball, making the right challenges, true leader of that back line for Syracuse, limiting the damage.
Whistle by the referee, and it's a free kick for Syracuse. Ashley Rauch standing over it.
Head coach Tony DeLuce stressed defending set pieces is important because that's how they broke down against Cal, conceding 2 late goals. Now this is from far out, but still, defending set pieces is something he's been stressing to his team.
Anna Croyle looks to send it into the box, but it's booted away by a Wake Forest defender. Rauch and Murphy going up. Syracuse maintains possession. Iba Oching taps it off, back to Rauch. Rauch switches the play. Once again, that Wake Forest back line right there to clean up any danger from a Syracuse cross. Syracuse back in possession. Ball floated forward. Aaron Fleury runs onto it and gets it. Aaron Fleury, good work there. Moving into the box. Fleury, step over, a shot that just goes over the bar. But strong play from Syracuse and Aaron Fleury.
Like the effort from Fleury. Just a couple of really nice moves. First off, staves off the first defender in sight and then beats the second defender in Chavoshi. And a little bit of a contested shot there as Ansbro stepped up. But Fleury trying to pinpoint, I think, that top right corner, trying to curl it on frame. The next step is putting that on goal and testing Amaral, but you gotta like the intensity from Fleury in the idea. She's looking to create those chances herself and take it upon herself to get some shots on goal.
Scythe is the one player that has changed over from that Cal game on the back line. She's coming in for Anna Swanson. Swanson, who made just her 3rd start in that Cal game, and Scythe has only started 5 games. So that's kind of been the one area in that Wake Forest defense that head coach Tony DeLuce still hasn't quite figured out yet.
Right, and Scythe a player as well with 3 goals and 2 assists, usually playing more forward.
Ball headed away from the 18-yard box. Wake Forest was looking for Emily Colton there. Header away was from Anna Croyle. Here's Maya McDermott, the substitute for Syracuse, loses out on possession there. A shot into the box, and it's a save by Vanderbosch. That was Emily Morris with the strike. And again, Sam, Wake Forest continuing to test Vanderbosch.
They are, and listen, you don't mind if you're Syracuse making Wake Forest settle for those shots outside the box. With that being said, it's a little bit more of a tricky one to handle than it looks. That could always take an awkward hop in front of you. Vanderbosch timed it perfectly, and not only that, making sure there was no rebound available either.
Murphy plays the ball forward for Wake Forest. Emily Colton is on it. Colton has options out wide. Emily Colton strikes another deflection, and it's cleared away by Iba Oching. The deflection set Vanderbosch off. You saw her jump, but no danger enough for Syracuse. Delaney Stevens then boots it away. Now the Syracuse side can kind of relax for a second as Wake Forest has the throw in.
Been a lot of defensive work for Syracuse. Not that that was unexpected going up against a top-ranked Wake team. That's just the nature of this type of game, AJ.
Hanks has it again out wide. She crosses it in. Was looking for the Wake Forest forward, and Small, another cross into the box. That's cleared away, and Ashley Rauch tries to get possession for Syracuse. It's Murphy now working the ball out wide. Back to Murphy. Sliding challenge in, and it's out for a goal kick.
Job well done from Anna Croyle this time. to just throw the attacker and Emily Murphy off. My goodness, we've mentioned Murphy a ton so far, AJ. She's getting on the ball consistently, has had some decent looks. And something that's also stood out about this Wake team going forward, they have the 1-0 lead, AJ, but they're hungry for more. You see the outside backs going forward, Christine Johnson in particular, down this left side for those second and third chances.
Syracuse looking to play forward now, but it's cleared away by Ansbro. That back line for Wake Forest has seemingly got to every ball, Sam, that Syracuse has tried to put into the box.
They have, and at some point you maybe want to mix things up. Rather than trying to send those crosses from the flanks, perhaps try to move it through the middle of the park and time your runs so you can finally catch that Wake back line off guard. Easier said than done, of course, but clearly Wake has come in prepared for those crosses from the wings and have dealt with it well.
In the midfield now with Small. She plays it back to Brown. Brown finds Colton. Great first touch by Emily Colton. She moves it out wide to Johnson. McDermott back in defense. Johnson goes around McDermott, but McDermott, good defensive work, gets back and clears it out for a throw.
Great work ethic from McDermott, the first substitute to enter the match for Syracuse. To also deflect it off of Wake to win the throw is a real high IQ play.
Now Wake Forest is going to make their first change of the game. It's Alex Wood checking in for Emily Murphy. Wood on the season just has 1 goal. Last season she did get hot. She scored in 3 straight games last season, so she can be a threat up top. And Emily Murphy, as you alluded to, Sam, had quite the shift in this first half.
She was involved quite a bit, so it's understandable that she needs a little bit of a breather after a hard-working 30 minutes for Wake's attacker. And as you mentioned, Wood has been a regular replacement for her for 15-minute spells or so. So you can expect Wood to finish out the rest of the half. She's come in as a sub in 9 of the 11 matches, starting the other 2.
In possession now with Eva Oching, who is in her freshman season. She's been with the Canadian youth national team and has just been so impressive for this Syracuse team. Not only her defending, but also her ability to move forward and move into the midfield has been such an asset for Nikki Thrasher-Adams' squad.
I mean, to be just a freshman and playing at the high level she has, it's a testament to her work ethic and just her talent as well. I mean, she's someone who competed 2 years ago in the Under-17 FIFA Women's World Cup all the way out in India, representing her country of Canada. One of the more highly touted prospects out of the Vancouver area, played for Whitecaps Elite Rex Academy growing up through high school. So playing at a high level, nothing new for her. And that's why she might be a freshman, but she's really not. All of that experience plays a huge factor, AJ.
She's also had the help from the likes of Anna Croyle and Grant on that back line to help her learn in what is a young Syracuse team, but does have good veteran pieces.
Right, it's a healthy mix for sure. And I think that's what Nikki Thrasher-Adams likes about this group of players this year.
Oching's moved forward now, tries to go into the midfield, but it's cut off.
Yes.
It's Small defending and now Small in possession. And Oching brings her down, and a whistle from the referee. It'll be a free kick for Wake Forest.
And you talk about, the mix for Syracuse of upperclassmen and some underclassmen that get key playing time. And then on the other side for the Demon Deacons, it's a squad with a couple of grad students and 17 seniors. A lot of veterans on this Wake squad.
Emily Colton moving forward, finds Hanks. Broken up by the Syracuse defense. That's Morris out wide for Wake Forest. Ball crossed into the box, looking for the attacker, but it's goes astray, and it's a goal kick for Syracuse.
It was Emily Morris lurking for Wake Forest. I'll tell you what, Syracuse gets a bit lucky. Eva Oching, who we were highlighting, is a little bit out of position tracking back, and that's just the nature of how much running she's had to do. But Morris had her beat. Now, to Oching's credit, maybe a little bump in pressure at the very end threw Morris off to prevent that from being a redirection on frame.
Number 30, Anna.
Wake Forest substitution along with the Syracuse substitution as Julia Denning checks in for Ava Uribe, and it's Anna Swanson who comes in for Nikayla Small. Swanson started that last game against Cal, was the one change to the team today coming off the bench.
And it goes to show you, AJ, how stacked this front line is for Wake. Swanson coming off the bench today, but she's one of 4 players with 3 or more goals already this season for the Demon Deacons.
Aaron Fleury trying to get in there as Maya McDermott recovers it, and Syracuse has the opportunity to attack. Emily Colton does well getting it away from Fleury. It's feeded back to Oching. Oching switches play. Once again, Sam, as soon as Syracuse gets into that final third, the play just breaks down.
It's been the issue so far. When they've attacked on the flanks, AJ, it's been crosses that have been relatively easily stifled out by Wake Forest. And when they've tried to play through the middle, they're just not connecting as much as they would have liked. I love the work ethic here from Aaron Fleury, doing anything she can to get in the head of Amaral.
Numbers forward for Wake Forest, but Syracuse is there with Grant. Lainey Stevens getting on the ball there briefly. Haven't seen too much from her in this first half. Just rolls out for a Syracuse throw. Murphy throws it into Fleury. Ball spun centrally to Rauch. Rauch was trying to look for Oching, but it takes a deflection off of Swanson. Oching heads it forward, though. And now McDermott gets on it. McDermott to the end line, across into the box, but no white shirt in the 6-yard box, and it's collected by Amaral.
That's better, though. Gabby Wisbeck with a brilliant header. She flicked it on to Maya McDermott, as you'll see right here. So one header, and then it's Wisbeck with the flick forward, facing away from goal to find McDermott. And just not the best of crosses. You want to put that into the second 6, the area between the 6-yard box and the penalty spot. Instead, she put it about 4 yards out from the goal line, and it was easy to control for Valentina Amaral between the sticks.
Hansbrough has it on the near side for Wake Forest. Hansbrough, one of the center backs who's more technical and really good in possession, as on display right here, and then she turns it over.
The announcer's jinx there?
Yes, maybe a little bit. Ball headed out for a Syracuse throw.
But yeah, going off your point, AJ, that was something Tony DeLuge stressed to us talking to him, how he loves a center back pairing of Zara Chavoshi and Laurel Ansbro, where Ansbro is that more technical type of player, and then Chavoshi is the more physical player who's willing to dig in. So he says they kind of complement each other's game quite well, and we've seen that so far in this match, where Ansbro's not afraid to go forward sometimes, and then Chavoshi's rock solid at the back.
Ball lofted forward as Wake Forest has numbers pushing forward. Alex Wood is the furthest forward. Now it is in the possession of the substitute Wood. Still Wood rips a shot, but it's collected by Vanderbosch. Vanderbosch had that early miscue where she couldn't collect it on that early shot from Wake Forest, but now she looked really comfortable.
She has. She settled in. And a big thing as of late for Syracuse is they're forcing Wake to settle for these shots from outside the box, something the Orange did a really good job of against the Tar Heels last week, where they forced some low percentage shots from outside the area, and that's what they've been doing so far, and Vanderbosch has been very impressive. I mean, you see that career saves leader. She's been absolutely brilliant, as a foul is committed there to so Syracuse can have a deep breath of relief there, because it could have been a counterattacking chance. But going back to Vanderbosch quickly, AJ, I mean, she's just a junior as well, still has one more year in front of her, and she's been really reliable all 3 years she's been here with the Qs.
Looking for Aaron Fleury. It finds her briefly, but now it's in possession of Swanson, but good press by Fleury. And it's fed back to Vanderbosch. And head coach Adams said that, you know, in that UNC game, Vanderbosch didn't have to make too many saves, and that's something she wants. She doesn't want Vanderbosch to continue to have to bail out this team. Of course, still be there and be reliable, but not be the last-ditch effort every time.
Exactly, and that was an issue that Syracuse faced a lot last year, where Vanderbosch basically stood on her head in some games. And even when she did that, Syracuse was still conceding multiple goals. There's only so much she can do. I think head coach Nikki Thrasher-Adams, realized that and really pinned it on her defense to step it up this season, and that's what the Orange have done.
Pearl feeds it into Fleury. Fleury immediately surrounded by black shirts. Finds Oching on the near side. Oching was looking for Rauch, and now it does come to Rauch. Rauch in space. Numbers in the box for Syracuse. Rauch puts it in, and it's just going to be a deflection and in the arms of Amaral.
A little bit of hesitancy there from Rauch didn't help her case, because that allowed Ansbro to really set up defensively one-on-one with Rauch and comfortably block that cross. That's what's lacking. Once Syracuse gets in the attacking third, especially down the wings, the Orange know that the crosses haven't been too effective, but they don't really have any other ideas as to how to break down this Wake back line so far. So sometimes there it's not the end of the world, AJ, if you're Rauch in the situation and you play it back and move more centrally and try to break Wake down that way.
Oching throws it into McDermott, and it's out for yet another Syracuse throw-in. Grant in possession now for the Orange. Finds Stevens. Always looking for Ashley Rounce, but just not on the same page, and will be back in the possession of Amaral.
And I don't mind that idea at all. That's more of what I was talking about from Syracuse, working through the middle of the pitch, but you got to be on the same page as well to time those runs perfectly. Rauch wasn't expecting the through ball to be played, so that's really the next step for Syracuse, but I do think they've been more effective playing through the middle of the park compared to the flanks.
Fleury, a hard foul in the back from behind on Ansbro, and it'll be a free kick, and looks like our head official is going to have a talking with Fleury.
Yeah, this is the nature of Fleury's game, where she loves to win, as I mentioned. He's going to go 110% all the time, and it is a blatant foul from behind for Ansbro. So the head official, Justin St. Pierre, just talking things over with Fleury. You can hear right now, just giving you a warning, but on that second infraction, if it happens again, you better believe that yellow card's coming out.
So no card for Aaron Fleury, as you alluded to, Sam.
And I think Tony DeLuz might disagree with that.
It's going to be 2 Wake Forest changes.
Substitutions for Wake Forest.
It's Abby Colton coming in.
Number 9, Kaya Hanks. And number 33, Abby Colton.
And number 8 for Wake Forest. Chloe Burst coming in for the Demon Deacons. Burst, not too many appearances on the year.
Yeah, I mean, that caught us all by a bit of a surprise, AJ, because it's the debut for Chloe Burst here on the Sunday afternoon, 12th game of the season for Wake Forest. The freshman's been patiently awaiting her opportunity, and she gets it this afternoon.
With Christine Johnson here, going to the near end, crosses it into the box, a shot in, and it just goes wide. Shot from Scythe, that just didn't find the bottom corner.
And Wake Forest has had much more success with these crosses. Christine Johnson, again, all the way up as a defender, providing that option out wide to send dangerous balls into the area. And if Scythe has better connection on that one time, she could have slotted that one to the bottom right corner. Syracuse has to get in front of those crosses and prevent those opportunities from occurring.
Approaching the final 3 minutes of this opening half, it was an early Wake Forest goal that has the game at 1-0. Johnson that time playing it astray, and it'll be a throw-in that Eva Oching will take.
It's one of the rare times in these opening 45 minutes that we've seen Wake with an unforced mistake to give possession back to Syracuse. It doesn't happen often.
Broyle into Oching. Oching spins away from the pressure. As Wisbeck falls to the ground, no whistle from the official, and it's a throw-in for the Demon Deacons. Oching appealing for a handball as it looked as though it came off of Colton's arm. Just be a throw-in for the Cuse. Wake Forest gained possession. It's Emily Colton, who scored a brilliant goal against the number one ranked team, Stanford. From about that range, she has the ability, Sam, to strike from distance.
She does, and that's why Syracuse is all over her. Anytime she's anywhere near the attacking 30, even when she's outside the penalty area, she can always be a threat to put one on goal. And she's been just absolutely brilliant for this Wake Forest team. Talk about a big pickup, getting her over from UNC.
And at UNC, she didn't have that same attacking freedom. She was playing more as not a center back, but in that defensive midfield role. Here at Wake Forest, she's been used as that number 10, and she's done it brilliantly.
And that's what head coach Tony DeLuz told us was a key reason why she's playing so well, is because she went to Wake in the spring, had that time with the team, and it's been more of a comfortability factor as the season has gone on in terms of, you know, being more attacking minded, because yeah, she was normally the 6 in that defensive mid role for UNC, but she's proven that she can be one of the most dangerous goal scorers in this entire conference in a more attacking role.
Final minute of play in this first half, and it's Kaya Hanks for Wake Forest that separates the two sides. Her goal came in the opening 2 minutes of the match. Vanderbosch lofts it forward, was looking for McDermott. Wake Forest comes up with it. Broyle and Grant nearly on the wrong page, but Syracuse escapes any immediate danger. Another ball lofted forward. It'll be a chance for the Demon Deacons, but cleared away by Grant. Bit of a sloppy spell of possession there for the Orange, as it's played out of play as this first half comes to an end. Sam, a first half in which Syracuse had opportunities, but Wake Forest has really shown their dominance in the final third.
They have. They're the number 5 team in the nation for a reason, and they've been controlling the game from the start. Possession-wise and in terms of chances created, they obviously set the tone with that early goal, AJ. To Syracuse's credit, they settled in a bit, chance to regroup at the half. It's still a game very much up for the taking.
Just a 1-0 game here at halftime. Syracuse will have time to regroup in the halftime locker room. We'll send it to our studio show for more halftime thoughts.
Up for the taking. It's all about the finishing touch in the final third and creating those opportunities if you're Syracuse going forward.
Forward Emily Murphy will start this second half on the referee's whistle. And we're underway in the second half of play, and Wake Forest immediately pushing the ball out wide, but this one goes out of play.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it backfires. That's the nature of the Demon Deacons, AJ. I highlighted in the first half where, yeah, they have a 1-0 lead, but they're hungry for more. So they're going to continue pressing, continue to be attacking minded, and that's something Nikki Thrasher-Adams, head coach of Syracuse, stressed, where this is an expansive and open Wake team. So if you can catch them on the break, all of a sudden that could lead to some success for the Orange.
And Sam, there is one change for head coach Nikki Thrasher-Adams to start this second half. Maya McDermott did not start the match, but she's in the lineup in the second half.
Can't say I'm too surprised there. She came in as the first substitute of the match, a usual starter for this team. And we'll keep an eye as well on perhaps a formation change mid-game, because Coach Adams said that could be a possibility.
Aaron Fleury moving forward early. Fleury looking for McDermott. It goes out wide. It's Wisbeck that's there, but it's going to trickle out of play. And then a foul as Wisbeck elbow into the back, and it's going to be a yellow card for her, the first card of the match, and Wisbeck's first card of the season.
and career for that matter as a freshman too. So she gets that one out of the way. We see the replay. Yeah, just an aggressive bump from behind. You can't really argue with that being a yellow card because there was no intent to play the ball. That was honestly an act of frustration from Wisbeck because the problem was on that pass through, McDermott was making a nice run, but it was held up for too long to the point where then the other option was Wisbeck, but she was not expecting that ball to be played to her whatsoever. So again, it goes back to the communication, AJ. I like the play through the middle. The final product and final pass just has not been there.
Emerald in possession. She wasn't tested too much in that first half. Had to collect a few crosses, but really no clear shot for her to save. All played on the near side. It's Kate Murphy that's defending, but Nikayla Small does well to get out of the pressure. Murphy pressured by Oching. Oching evades it well. Back to Oching, who is in the midfield, and she's really comfortable playing there, and you saw that on display just there, moving out of the pressure. Now it's McDermott tiptoeing down to that near side, sends a cross low, but it's right in the feet of a Wake Forest defender and booted away.
But Syracuse on the front foot here. First 2 minutes of this half, completely different than the first 2 minutes of the last half, and I'm sure that was a big talking point at the half from that woman right there, Nikki Thrasher Adams, fifth season, I should say, in charge of the Orange. And it's, you know, you got to go for it. You want to get points at this stage of the season after losing your first 4 ACC matches. So you're trailing, you got nothing to lose. Get numbers forward, make Wake a little bit uncomfortable.
Wake has an opportunity to counter now off the turnover. It's with Colton. Colton, ACC Offensive Player of the Week, gets it back out wide. Goes into the corner, Colton lifts her head. Spins around the defender, crosses into the box, and there's no black shirt there. Emily Murphy was a little bit further behind, and it's out for a Demon Deacons throw-in.
See there, Colton just looking a bit gassed. We're only 3 minutes into the second half, but this has been a high-intensity type of game. As mentioned, Wake never takes its foot off the pedal, but perhaps fatigue could play a factor down the final stretch later in this match.
Throw-in looking for Murphy, but then booted away by Grant. All spun out wide to Scythe. On possession with Small, working down the end line. Small cutting inside, another cross into the box, but Vanderbosch is right there as Murphy was charging in.
Vanderbosch has been on her game. You mentioned it before. There was that first time where she allowed a rebound, quickly pounced on it. Ever since then, there's been no second chance opportunities as Small sends it in. That could be you know, a dangerous area to put the ball in right at the edge of the 6 because of the goalie. You got to make that split-second decision. Do I come out? Do I stay on my line? Vanderbosch has enough experience where she knew I'm making the split-second decision to pounce on that ball, and it paid off.
No one ahead further enough for Syracuse as Liesl Auden, another player who did not start this match, is coming in to start the second half. Fleury wins it back. Trying to bite 2 black shirts. Fleury tries to move out of it. Hits the deck. It's still in possession of Syracuse. It's Ashley Rauch who speeds it into Auden, and it's cleared away by Wake Forest. Demon Deacons now have an opportunity to counter. It's Hanks speeding ahead. She has options left and right. Still in possession with Hanks. Hanks still has it, and then it's cleared away by an SU defender. Rauch now end-to-end stuff here early in this second half.
It's really opening up, AJ. And this is what I expected because Wake still wants an insurance goal, but Syracuse, you know, obviously desperate for that breakthrough, winless in ACC play.
Another attack. Here's Colton moving inside the 18-yard box. It's Emily Colton with the shot, but no power behind it, and it's comfortable for Vanderbosch.
Talk about end-to-end action. A deep breath from everyone involved, including us here in the booth. And Kylan Grant, again, calling the action. She did a good job to just close down the angle and make it a weak effort in the end. And you can't really blame Vanderbosch here for just giving her captain defender an extra few seconds to recollect herself and everyone on the pitch.
And up top for Syracuse, it is Liesl Ott, and we have yet to see Mugalbis, who usually checks in to rotate out of that 9 position, but she remains on the bench thus far. It's just Otten's 8th appearance on the season. She's only started 4 games, does have a goal. Back with the Syracuse defense in Grant. Ball pushed forward to Otten. He looks for Ashley Rauch, who's in space, cuts it back inside, and then rips a shot that is well wide.
It's getting there for Syracuse. It absolutely is. You can feel the energy here at SU Soccer Stadium. And I love that ball played across to Rauch. You see Otten with a great idea. And the problem here for Rauch is overall is a pretty good first touch, but it went back a little bit. So she was leaning back a little bit on the strike. The touch went into space to set up the chance, but if it's a little bit more forward, she's going over that ball.
Chance now for Wake Forest as Emily Murphy's in a 2v2 situation. The shot, and it's blocked away by Grant. Excellent defending by Grant. The senior has come up huge time and time again.
You can see how just gassed Kylan Grant is, but she's giving it her full effort every minute, really. And you gotta love that if you're Coach Thrasher Adams, because Murphy has been a threat all game long, and she does a great job to recover, get into position, and block that effort.
Colton will take this, or rather it will not be Colton, it will be Morris taking this corner for Wake Forest. There is an option short with Hanks, and Stephen Deacons take that option. Now it's Hanks in possession. Hanks moves around Rauch comfortably. Many options in the box. Across, took a deflection. Still a chance for the Demon Deacons on the edge of the box with Colton. She can strike from distance, tries to, but another deflection as that SU defense holding strong. Back out wide with Scythe. Scythe switches the play to Murphy. Murphy defended by Croyle. Moving forward, back to Murphy out wide. Ball crossed in, but Vanderbosch is right there once again.
And this is another instance, AJ, of Wake having to settle for a shot from outside the box. So Syracuse staying very disciplined and keeping its shape defensively. And in the end, Murphy just trying to throw Vanderbosch a little off guard. But for a veteran goalie like her, that as good as her, no problem.
Another turnover in the midfield. Emily Murphy has a chance. Plenty of white shirts around. Murphy finds space, but it's Grant once more getting a foot in that deflection. Danger cleared away momentarily, but once again, Wake Forest is back on the ball. It's Small moving inside. Small commits a foul as she brings Wesbuck down. Syracuse now looking to move quick. And we take a look at the field hockey score as Syracuse and Duke, a ranked matchup there, is going into a penalty shootout after a double overtime, and it's still scoreless. Meanwhile, Aaron Fleury has an opportunity. Fleury has numbers, has options, spins back, looks for Otten. Otten shot, big save! Ball's cleared out wide as Syracuse nearly finding the equalizer. Emily Murphy now in possession as Wake Forest gets numbers forward. Just end-to-end stuff here to start this second half, Sam.
Buckle in. We're only 10 minutes into the half, AJ. I've certainly been on the edge of my seat. I mean, look at this opportunity here. Fleury with a great job to turn around, find Otten, and it's a decent effort. Amaral does well to react quickly because she really hasn't been tested like that all afternoon long. If Otten slots that a little more towards the left side of the goal, I think it's getting past Amaral, but it's been much improved offensively for this attacking-minded Syracuse squad, really searching for that equalizer.
It was the first real save Amaril's had to do in this match. Didn't face too much pressure in that first half. Seif keeps it in play, moves it out wide to Murphy, who's popping up on both sides. Murphy has plenty of space, options flooding in for Wake Forest. It's still Emily Murphy. Murphy with the shot, the cross is in, and it's another goal for the Demon Deacons. They go up 2-0. It's Emily Cotton with, or rather it's Kaya Hanks with the goal, and it's a 2-0 Demon Deacons goal. Demon Deacons advantage, and a goal send that comes against the run of play.
It does. And the nature of how the second half has started with back and forth action, that's what can happen. You can be exposed against the run of play, getting so many numbers forward. And Emily Murphy, she's so dangerous down either wing, really. And Kaya Hanks just not closed down enough. An eerily similar goal to the first one she scored. She's got 2 on the day, and she's having herself a game with 2 finishes from right at the edge of the 6-yard box.
As you said, Sam, Hanks' second goal of the game. It's now 5 on the season for the junior. She's been such a threat with her speed, but also Emily Murphy, who's been popping up on the left and right side in this one.
She has been, and you know, for Murphy, finally scored her first goal of the season last time out, but you're seeing why she's more than just a goal scorer. You know, she's been unlucky with some of her chances throughout the start of the season, but she also has that pace and distribution ability that makes her so lethal. You don't know if she's going to shoot. She can also set up her teammates. And, you know, earlier at the top of the broadcast, AJ, I was highlighting Hanks as you know, a goal scorer and a playmaker, and I was, you know, stressing her ability to distribute. But today, Hanks has been making those runs up the middle and has been tapping them home with a brace so far, and all of a sudden, she could be on a hat trick, AJ.
Syracuse looking to regain some possession, but Wake Forest continuing to put their foot on the pedal. Turnover as it's Small that's now in possession for the Demon Deacons. Goes out of play for a Wake Forest throw.
And of course, it's frustrating if you're Syracuse with such a positive start to the half, but I don't really think the plan changes that much, AJ, because now you're down by another goal. You still got to be very attacking minded if you want any chance. If you're exposed at the back, so be it. You got to get numbers forward to try to make things interesting.
Tim, you can also see Syracuse is definitely playing in that 4-4-2 formation with Fleury and Auden, the 2 strikers. Murphy now once again moving forward. Evades the pressure by Wesbeck, pushed out wide to Colton. Back to Murphy. Again, pushed out wide. Seif sends another ball into the box. It's over everyone and out of play.
And with that 4-4-2 formation that Syracuse has shifted into, that's a big reason why as well we're seeing McDermott stay in ever since she came into the match, because Nikki Thrasher-Adams said that, you know, a big reason why she didn't start the last game and today was because of the 4-2-3-1 formation, but in the 4-4-2, she really sees her in that attacking role, which we're seeing now, and Uribe also re-entering the match, I should say.
Uribe re-entering the match for Stevens, and it's going to push Aaron Fleury into more of a midfield role. So what does that now do for the Syracuse side?
Well, you know, with Fleury's work ethic, I think she's going to win those 50-50 balls in the middle of the park. And yeah, she's a great goal scorer, but she also has the great ability to distribute. You see right there, you know, Fleury drawing the foul, that's what she has the ability to do. She's going to bring that energy in the middle of the park, and I expect her to try to thread some balls through, play some through balls as outlets up top with the likes of Auden and Uribe now back into the match.
McDermott, another one of those players that did not start the match, but is coming off the bench. The Orange now just trying to slow the pace of this game down a little bit. The ball's moved forward to Auden, out wide to McDermott. Uribe and Wesbeck are the furthest forward for Syracuse. McDermott moves in. Down goes the Wake Forest defender. It just goes out of play for a Syracuse throw-in. Now it's with Oching. Back to Fleury. McDermott gets it. She's onside. McDermott crosses it in. It was looking for Wesbeck. Here's Rauch with the strike that's blocked away, and then Rauch hits the deck hard. Collided with Small on that volley attempt. Just a throw in for the Orange. Uribe now tries to cross it in. It's cleared away momentarily. Rauch again will try and strike, but it's over the bar. Ashley Rauch leads this team in goals with 4.
She does. Yeah. You know, earlier on I was talking about how when she's playing in that number 6 position in a more defensive role, she's great in that position, you know, being vocal to the rest of the defense and connecting through the middle. But now as we see her going more forward and posing a threat up top, she also has found the back of the net more than any other Syracuse player. So look for Rauch to be a real threat, continue to create those opportunities. Now it's about getting the shots on frame.
And elsewhere around the ACC, Louisville has taken a 1-0 lead over NC State, as Wake Forest nearly sloppy in possession there, but avoids the mistake. A hard challenge by Wesbeck, who was booked earlier. And it looks as though that card is not going on her. It's going to go towards,
I believe, Uribe, but we'll see about that. Let's take a look at the replay, AJ, because that was a crazy sequence. So you see 2 Syracuse players. Yeah, it's the original challenge on Uribe, but both her and Wisbick went in and didn't get the ball, in my opinion. So honestly, Wisbick a bit fortunate that Uribe came in first, and that was what the foul was called for, because that could have been a second yellow and a sending off for Wisbick had the infraction been called against her.
So there's now 2 Syracuse players who have received yellows. Wisbeck, as you mentioned, and then Uribe, who just got that yellow card. Ball played to the near side to Morris. Defended by Rauch. Morris feeds it into Small. Small back to Morris. Ball played wide. It's Emily Colton running onto it. She'll be defended by Murphy. Colton crosses it in. No black shirt there immediately, but Emily Morris comes up with it. The shot takes a hit. Deflection off of McDermott. And it skips to the far side, still remaining in play. As Murphy holds it on the corner, but now Syracuse regains possession. With Uribe, who just plays it out.
When we look back at the last Wake opportunity, I mean, this second half has opened up in a big way, and it's Colton playing the cross in. Murphy, she pops out of nowhere. This goes back to her work ethic. She's just always finding the ball. Good job, though, by Oching in the end to get in the way of that strike.
Murphy switches the field to Johnson. Johnson hasn't gotten on the ball too much in this second half. We saw a lot of her in the first half. As another Wake Forest player goes down, that's Hanks. This will be a dangerous set-piece opportunity for the Demon Deacons, as it was McDermott committing the foul.
And Hanks in a bit of pain as the official, Justin St. Pierre, signals for the clock to be stopped. And this would be a big blow for Wake. Hanks, the scorer of both goals, taken down just a couple yards outside the area. And to your point, AJ, when play does resume, this will be a very promising free kick. And there you see the studs from McDermott right on the sole of the right foot of Kaya Hanks. And as we're wash soccer players now, AJ, but I can tell you that hurts a lot. There's no protection there right on the sole of your foot. And unfortunately for Kaya Hanks, McDermott's studs went right into her foot. And that's why she's shaken up, the Hawaii native who's made a big impact all afternoon long.
On a hat trick, as you mentioned, got a goal in the first and second half, as the Syracuse players are going to go to their sideline to talk things over as the Wake Forest trainer comes out to look at Hanks. Sam, with this stoppage, what does Syracuse need to do to try and get a goal back without conceding more?
Right, well, you know, no timeouts in soccer, but you basically get a free one here. Obviously, it's unfortunate that's due to an injury, but it is a real opportunity for Syracuse to reset and talk things over. As you mentioned, their whole team, all 11 on the pitch, including Vanderbosch, has come over to the sideline to talk things over with head coach Nikki Thrasher-Adams. So for me, for Syracuse, honestly, AJ, not much more changes. And you might say that's a little bit crazy, but I feel like attacking-wise, they've been in good spots. They've been in good positions. and they've been dangerous in the final third. It's about continuing to put the pressure on, and that's a great opportunity to remind you that the Syracuse women's team is back in action, AJ, against another top-quality opponent in Notre Dame next Saturday. It's a doubleheader. The men's team under the lights later on that day.
Yeah, it's both men's and women's teams will be playing Notre Dame. You can see both those matches right here on ACC Network Extra as that ACC schedule gets going in the thick of it now for both Syracuse men's and women's soccer.
Yeah, definitely an exciting time. Gotta love those days when it's a doubleheader of soccer as well here at SU Soccer Stadium, and looks like we're now ready to resume the action.
So Syracuse will have to defend a dangerous set-piece opportunity. I'm sure that was something that Nikki Thrasher-Adams was talking about in that huddle. There's 3 players standing over the ball right now for Wake Forest, as a referee, Justin St. Pierre, telling the Demon Deacons players to move the ball back just a slight bit. Hanks is on the far sideline, and she looks to be okay.
Our post, guys. Our post.
It's Colton, Murphy, and Morris standing over the ball for the Demon Deacons. 3 options. Both players can send in a good cross. We've seen that throughout this match. It'll be Colton to strike it. It's Emily Colton, and it's saved by Vanderbosch.
So with 3 players around the ball for Wake, just trying to trick Syracuse a little bit, but the Orange not fooled. You saw McDermott closing in on that ball, but in the end, Vanderbosch had a clear view line of that one, and a comfortable save when all was said and done.
Grant was looking for Murphy, but plays it out of play, and Vanderbosch, can't really say she's to blame for those 2 goals. They were really good finishes by Wake Forest, and she's come up with some big saves today. It's Murphy again in the 18-yard box. That one unable to stay in play, and it's a goal kick for Syracuse. And an SU change now, as Anna Rupert will check into the match for Liesl Auden, who did not start the first half and was not subbed in the first half, started the second half in the starting lineup, but she now checks out for Rupert, rather.
And Auden provided a bit of a spark there. You know, she had some decent looks from outside the box, gave a few good minutes, but now Rupert, well-rested, promising freshman, back out there. So no real surprise to see this change at this point in the second half.
Emily Colton on the ball, sends it out wide for Small, and it's Grant once again there to shut down any danger from Wake Forest. Irwin for the Demon Deacons. Syracuse is preparing another change as players just slow to get up. It's Murphy who is down, and it looks as though it'll be Murphy to check out. She's really dealing with something. And it's Julia Denning who will come back into the match.
Syracuse, number 23, Julia Denning. For number 14, Kate Murphy.
Denning, her 12th appearance on the year, has a goal and an assist. Just 2 starts, so she's usually a player that is coming off the bench for Nikki Thrasher-Adams. Cycled back around for Wake Forest, now pushed out wide. Here's Hanks, who seems to recover from the knock that she took. Hanks on Oching, speeds around her, sends a ball into the box. Murphy, Colton, 3-0 Wake Forest. Great play from the Demon Deacons, and it's another goal for Emily Colton.
This is Wake Forest's attack at its best. I mean, absolutely brilliant. Hanks, who scored a couple of goals, now shows, hey, I got speed and I can be a playmaker. Look at the dummy by Emily Murphy. That is top class. Syracuse was completely fooled. Everyone in the world thought Murphy was shooting it, myself included. She says, I'll let it go for Emily Colton. And all 3 Wake goals have been right at the edge of that 6-yard box. And the Demon Deacons are taking off here at SU Soccer Stadium.
And with that goal, Wake Forest makes 2 changes as it's Hanks to check out along with Brown. So now at 3-0, Sam, where does Syracuse go from here?
Yeah, obviously the mountain to climb is a steep one at this point. They've just been exposed in the middle defensively in terms of not tracking back in time, and that's just the nature of this game opening up. I don't blame head coach Nikki Thrasher-Adams for being more attacking-minded in the second half.
Wake Forest continuing to attack. It's Stevens and Hanks going shoulder to shoulder, and Stevens comes up with it. Feeds it into Aribi, now with Rauch.
At this point, you got no choice but to continue to get forward. Now, one thing that I think Syracuse could settle in that's changed the last 5 minutes is getting more of the possession, because Syracuse was kind of winning that battle early on in the second half. Now, if you can settle in a little bit with more of the possession and be more clinical in the build-up, you could score some goals. And again, a steep mountain to climb, but got to take it 1 goal at a time.
Syracuse looking to get 1 back. It's Ava Uribe trying to skip around a few Wake Forest defenders. That's Abby Colton, who was one of the players to sub in right after that. And Chloe Burst also checking in for Dempsey Brown. Burst making her first ever appearance for the Demon Deacons here. She briefly had a brief spell at the end of the first half, right before the halftime break. As Small feeds it out wide to Colton. Colton is in space. Colton works her way inside the 18-yard box, sends in another cross. It's defended well by SU and cleared away. Rupert momentarily trying to get possession, but couldn't get around the center back, Chavoshi, who has done really well. Both those center backs today for Wake Forest have done really well, Sam.
Yeah, they haven't been phased, really. They've stepped up when they need to. And, you know, on the few chances Syracuse has had, they've mainly been shots from outside the box, which you're completely happy with if you're that center back pairing. Syracuse, for the most part, has failed to really get to close range like Wake has done at the other end.
Another ball floated into the 18-yard box, but not near any black shirt, and will be a goal kick for Syracuse. As SU prepares another change, Julia Koval, who will check in.
Substitution for Syracuse.
And out comes Maya McDermott, who did not start the game, but did start the second half.
Maya McDermott.
For Koval, it's just her 6th appearance on the year. She has started 1 game. Rupert was trying to get on the end of that ball from Vander Bosch. Sam, Emily Colton, similar to Murphy, just kind of popping up anywhere on the pitch and getting in possession.
She really has been. And Colton is a great example of a player who just has a great work ethic. And we mentioned it earlier how when Colton was at UNC, she played more of a defensive role. So she's willing to track back defensively to win the ball. And then she scores that goal moments ago, can also be a playmaker from the wing.
Center back Ansbrough got really further forward there, and she's still in possession now, passing it back. But again, that just shows the ability of Ansbrough to get forward and so comfortably do so as Wake Forest continues to attack. Another cross in, but it's over the goal and out of play. It's Christine Johnson with the cross. Approaching 20 minutes left here in the second half. 2 goals from Kaya Hanks and an Emily Colton strike. The difference so far.
And those are the 2 players we expected to deliver, AJ, so it's no surprise. And that goes back to the consistency with this Wake team. Every game, you know, those players as well as the entire team is showing up. That's why they're a top 5 squad right now in the nation.
For Colton, that's now 3 goals in the last 4 matches for her. That's one of the big reasons why she was awarded ACC Offensive Player of the Week. Ball lofted forward. Murphy defended by Grant. Stevens momentarily got a foot in. Aaron Fleury pops up. Played out wide to Rupert. Rupert tried to feed it into Fleury, but it trickles out for a Syracuse throw. Denning to take the throw in. Ashley Rauch choosing to let that one go out for another throw in. Grant keeps possession for Syracuse. Out wide to Aribi. And in quick succession, Syracuse has another throw.
Not the worst thing for Syracuse because you kind of calm things down, you have more possession. Now it's what you do with it in the attacking third.
Cross into the box, not too many numbers there for Syracuse. Falls to Rupert, and a strike that goes awry. Delaney Stevens, who tried to put one on goal but just didn't get the right contact.
Just a bit of a hopeful shot there from the UNC Greensboro transfer. And that's the stage of the game we're at, where you got to find a way to test Amaral, you know, more than just that one golden chance earlier in the half for Auden. But you don't want to waste those opportunities as well.
Murphy out wide, shoulder in by Denning, and the referee is going to blow that for a foul.
Might be a little harsh there. Denning, definitely physical, but I'm not sure how much was in that challenge, but the referee, Justin St. Pierre, was right over it.
Murphy plays it to Colton, but the referee was not yet ready to restart play. And Emily Murphy a little perplexed to why the whistle was there, but I think it was just the referee wasn't ready for play to resume.
Yeah, I mean, if Wake never asked for 10 yards, they should have been able to start whenever they wanted, but I guess it also goes to show you, AJ, how hungry this Wake team is to score even another goal, because they're getting frustrated about not being able to restart quickly, yet they have the 3-goal advantage.
Another substitution for Wake Forest. It's Lane Deonteana who checks in.
Wake Forest, number 39, Lane DiNatale. For number 7.
Yeah, this is just the 3rd appearance as well from DiNatale this year. So we saw Burst coming in to make her debut. And now DiNatale, who is only featured in a couple of matches, gets her opportunity.
Substitution for Wake Forest, number 23, Allie Schmidt.
Another
number 19, Sierra Seif.
Wake Forest change as head coach Tony DeLuze feeling he can now rotate some of his squad. Schmidt checks in for Seif.
Murphy's been battling all day long, and similar to Fleury on the Syracuse side, those two players, you know, share those similar traits where they're going to give it, you know, 150% every second of the match, even in that attacking role. And Murphy's been a prime example of that all afternoon.
Possession with Stevens. Back to Grant. Gives it to Denning. Stevens trucks forward. Feeds it out wide to Uribe. Uribe was looking for Rupert and couldn't find her, and it's back to the keeper, Amaral, who's just had to come up with that one big save today. Outside of that, hasn't been tested too much from the Syracuse attack.
Relatively comfortable day for the netminder, but that's the tough part about being a goalkeeper. You always got to be ready, like when that Auden chance arose and Amaral was up to the test.
Murphy running onto it, and it goes out of play. And some more Wake Forest subs emerge. Alex Wood coming back into the match. So too is Carly Wilson.
Substitutions for Wake Forest, number 20.
And Amaya Dawkins as well will come in as a host of Demon Deacon subs come onto the field, as understandably Sam, head coach Toulouse, feels that he can now rotate his squad and give some players a rest, as it is the thick of ACC play.
Definitely a sensible decision at this stage of the match. 15 minutes left. You obviously don't want to step off the gas if you're Wake Forest, and they won't, because that's just the nature of how they play. But if you can get some rotation here and get some starters, some rest at the very end, considering there's more travel on the horizon for Wake Forest in this congested ACC schedule, as you mentioned, that's absolutely going to be beneficial for the Demon Deacons.
24's not half bad either.
With Vander Bosch. Aaron Fleury now in possession. She's kind of played all over the pitch as she's fouled there. Seen her out wide as referee's gonna a bit of a talking to and potentially distribute a card, and just telling the Wake Forest players to cut that kind of fouling out, or the next one could be a booking.
You're right, though. Fleury's been everywhere. She's been tracking back. She's created chances up top. A lot of endurance for a player of her caliber who doesn't take a second off. Whenever she's on the pitch, she's looking to make an impact.
Protest for a handball, nothing called as Stevens loses possession, then Rauch feeds it back out wide to Uribe. Uribe feeds it to Oching. Back to Vander Bosch for the Orange. She plays a long ball forward to Denning, but she doesn't get to it. Dawkins in possession. Gives it to Colton. Plenty of new faces now on the field for Wake Forest, as after that third goal went in, there was plenty of substitutions. Rupert get out wide with Oching. Oching hasn't had too many opportunities to get forward today. Ball's deflected to Dawkins. It's forward for Wood. Alex Wood is in a 3v1 situation. Doesn't have too much help. Now she does spin it out wide. Again, it's drifted out wide to Schmidt. Another chance here for Wake Forest, but a good block and step in from Denning. Denning, the transfer from Siena, does a great defensive job here.
She does. She had plenty of ground to cover, too, and quickly tracked back, running full speed. Job well done, but now you got to defend the set piece.
Another sub for Wake Forest, as it's Christine Johnson coming back into the game, and out comes the center back, Lauren Ansbro. Ansbro, an excellent performance today once again. So calm and comfortable in that back line.
She wears that captain's armband for a reason. One of 17 seniors on the squad. She's so composed anchoring that back line, Laurel Ansbro.
Carly Wilson taking the corner. Just her 8th appearance of the year. The header goes in and it's trickled around, but there's a whistle. And a Syracuse player down as the referee immediately stops play for what could have been a potential head injury, and it was Denning who hit the floor.
That's exactly right, AJ. And great job by the official, Justin St. Pierre, to stop play immediately, because that's what you're told as the official. Anytime there's question about a head injury, you could see Denning just wasn't expecting it to come in quickly like that and took it awkwardly off the head. So even if it's a dangerous, if the ball's in a dangerous area like the 6-yard box, you have to stop play immediately regarding those head injuries, which are and should be taken very serious. And we see the athletic trainer making sure Denning's okay. And also going off of that, AJ, I don't believe any foul was called. Play was stopped purely because of the head injury. So it'll be interesting to see how play is restarted.
It'll be a drop ball, but it will just be interesting to see
where.
Yeah, where and who gets possession ultimately.
Sure.
So you got to look at the Wake Forest goalkeeper. Amaral, as we've alluded to a few times, hasn't had too much to do today.
Nope. And you know, it's good for her still to make that big save and get more comfortable as well, making more starts recovering from that ACL injury. So the referee ruled that Syracuse was going to get possession there, and that's how play picks back up, AJ.
Denning remaining on the sideline, has to wait until another stoppage to check back in. And that stoppage comes there, and Denning re-enters the match. It's going to be a goalkeeper change for Wake Forest as Paige Nurkin comes into the game for Amaral. It's going to be Nurkin's 2nd appearance of the year. She spent 3 seasons at Columbia, was first-team All-Ivy League her senior season, and it just shows to the depth that Wake Forest has that she could come in and there really isn't much of a difference.
Not at all. Nurkin, someone who made her debut for Wake Forest in her grad year this season against Temple, made a save and recorded a clean sheet. And yeah, at Columbia in the Ivy League, she was a regular starter for the Lions. So you have so many options. You have Nurkin, you got Peyton Cahill, and then the starter today in Amaral. A lot of goalkeeper depth as well.
And while that substitution was happening, Aaron Fleury got a yellow card for what most likely was some talking to the official that the official was not pleased with.
Believe it or not, the first booking of the season for Fleury.
And another Syracuse change, as it's Vita Nyhan who comes in. We usually see Nyhan check in earlier in the second half as SU's trying to push for a goal. She comes in for a rebeat. And Julia Koval also subbed out as well, as there's plenty of changes with this second half coming to an end.
For Syracuse, number 8, Vita Nyhan. For number 7, Eva Uridi. Number 18.
Yeah, so Asia Cobb, the other player, also coming into the match, AJ. So a lot of rotation on both sides. Considering the 3-0 scoreline with nearly 10 minutes left, it's not the most surprising thing to see.
So working the ball out wide, it'll be a Syracuse throw-in. Cobb this season making just her 7th appearance, no starts. Switching, tried to regain possession but couldn't, and Wake Forest can now attack. Ball rotated out wide to Schmidt. Now in the midfield with Dawkins. Dawkins, another player on the field who hasn't started any games this season, but does have now 7 appearances on the year. When you look at the Wake Forest roster, it is a big roster, one of the biggest probably in all of college soccer.
It is. There's a lot of depth on this team, and that only makes them stronger. There's so many dangerous options off the bench, AJ.
Wake Forest looking to push again. Ball shifted out wide. Good fake. Now crossed into the box. Shot initially there, but a bit of a miscue, and it's into the hands of Shea Vanderbosch. And there's 17 seniors making up this Wake Forest roster. And when we caught, as you see the chance here for Wake Forest, not their best chances. They've had so many today, Sam.
No, and you know, trying to take that one off the volley is a very difficult task. Not even the best players in the world can finish that one most times.
And going back to my point, 17 seniors on this Stephen Deacon's roster. And when we talked to head coach Tony DeLuz, he said that those seniors on the team, not all of them are playing, but he's so proud and almost grateful how selfish some of them are that, you know, they're not getting loads of minutes, but they're still such anchors for this team.
And that's a big thing. He said just, you know, in practice, week in, week out, having that veteran experience to teach some of the younger players is huge. And yeah, the buy-in is the key thing, to your point, AJ, where he said, of course, with 17 seniors, not all of them by any means are going to be getting consistent playing time, and some of them don't play that much, and that's just the nature of how it is. But everyone understands their role, and even those players who aren't playing that much, they're really embracing that leadership role, and the results are showing for this Wake team.
Ball played out wide. It was looking for Ashley Rauch, but she can't keep it in play, and it's a Wake Forest throw-in. And some more Demon Deacon subs.
Substitution for Wake Forest.
Katie Dubois checking in.
Number 7, Kristen Johnson.
Dubois is just her 3rd appearance on the year. Moving forward, furthest forward she's been all day, and she's done really well. Now crossing into the box, but doesn't reach a white shirt. Vita Nyhan was there. It was a brief shove in the back, no whistle. Now Wake Forest can go forward on the counter. Henning spins it out wide. Forward again goes Wake Forest, but it's cut off by the SU defender. Anna Croyle with the strong recovery, and we saw Grant there moving forward, and she's really put in a great effort today.
She has. I mean, a really good performance on the defensive side of things, but then she said, okay, I can also get forward and show you my speed down the left flank. She's been a huge bright spot for me in this match, something to really be positive about going forward for Syracuse if you want to look on the bright side of things, despite the 3-0 scoreline.
Match has definitely gone down a gear from when it started, especially in the second half when it was end-to-end on both sides, and Syracuse nearly leveled the scoring, but then it was Wake Forest that got that goal and really shifted the match back into their favor. Cross into the box, defended well by Oching, and then booted off of Wake Forest player and out of play. It's off of Osborne, one of those substitutes who has come into the game. Osborne, the sophomore from California, didn't play in her freshman year. It's just her 4th appearance of the year.
Just her 4th appearance, didn't play in her freshman year, but she was a member of the U.S. U17 Women's National Team player pool back in 2021. Again, the depth on this team is truly remarkable.
To bring a player off the bench that has that national team experience is something that not many programs around the country can do.
No.
Another strong clearance from Syracuse, but no one further forward to retrieve that one. Furthest player forward for SU was Anna Rupert, but couldn't get into play there. As Syracuse is preparing another change. Julia Koval will come back into this game. Switch of play from Wake Forest out wide, but Iba Oching is there. Oching, another player who I think, Sam, can have her head held high for the performance that she put in today.
Yep, I 100% agree. I mean, she's been working hard for the full 90 minutes. You know, has had a lot to do because she's gone forward down that wing, has also had to track back. But in the end, a job well done for the freshman.
Anna Rupert out wide. Sends it into the box, but it's out of play. But it did take a deflection. It goes out for a Syracuse corner, and set pieces was something, Sam, that Nikki Thrasher-Adams really focused on during the week off. And before we get to that corner, an interesting story here is we see the Maxwell family, who has one daughter committed to Wake Forest and the other daughter committed to Syracuse, and their parents were rocking the sweater that had half Syracuse on one side and then half Wake Forest on the other side.
That is awesome, and you see them taking in the game. What a great opportunity for both of the Maxwell sisters from the Philadelphia area to take in this game, and I'm excited to see the futures of both of them.
Fleury sends in the corner, and it's Eva Oching who almost got there. Still a chance for SU, and it's cleared away. Another golden opportunity as the referee blows his whistle, and there was an offside in that.
Well, AJ, you talked about the corner kicks. This was something Nikki Thrasher-Adams was stressing, where Wake Forest, as you see, they don't put anyone at the back post. So the strategy for Syracuse, even though they haven't had many corners at all today, was getting 5, 6 players into the 6-yard box, make it really a scramble to try to poke it home. It almost paid off there for the Orange.
And also for Paige Nurkin, you know, she was on the bench for almost this entire game, so she kind of got into a burst into rhythm right there with that shot from Oching, or just kind of touch from Oching, really. Syracuse, even with this scoreline, they have been able to create some chances, but it's just been the finishing, Sam, that hasn't been there.
And that's been the storyline in ACC play, AJ. I mean, the scorelines are a bit deceiving. In all likelihood, Syracuse will drop to 0-5 in ACC play, but they've been competitive in almost every ACC game so far. Obviously, Florida State got away a little bit, but even this game, you know, the Orange were right in it. As you said, the leveler was almost there early in the second half, and if it was 1-1, be completely different story.
Ball shifted out wide for Julia Denning. Denning gives it to Nyhan, and Nyhan's in space, but is flagged offside.
And that's got to be the focal point going forward, because Nikki Thrasher-Adams, head coach of the Orange, knows the season, you know, it's starting to wind down. Now 5 games into ACC play, you got to get points where you can, and there she is, you know, with obviously a bit of a frustrated look. The finishing just hasn't been there. And if they can figure that part out in the attacking third, this is a team that can get some good results against top-tier opponents.
Alex Wood nearly got onto that, but SU gets it cleared momentarily. Now Wood does have it. And Wood getting in a tangle with Denning, and it's a foul in favor of Wake Forest. As we approach under a minute to play here at SU Soccer Stadium. Scoring got going early for the Demon Deacons. Kaya Hanks got her first of 2 goals today, and the 3rd goal was slotted home by Emily Colton. It's Wood out wide for Wake Forest. Pushes it forward. An opportunity here as Vanderbosch makes a comfortable save once more. Vanderbosch has had a few of those today where she hasn't had to do too much.
Right. But always got to be alert nonetheless. You have to make those routine saves. And she's been a staple, obviously, as Wake Forest has now clipped the 20-shot mark. But the ones on goal, to your point, haven't been too threatening for the most part. It's just been those close chances that have been dangerous.
Erin Fleury nearly getting on the end of that as Nurkin did collide with her. No foul as Erin Fleury remains down, holding her foot. Fleury still down as Syracuse trying to attack. It goes out for another SU corner as Fleury just now getting to her feet. Fleury to take the corner. SU nearly scored on their last set piece opportunity. Plenty of players in that 6-yard box yet again. Well, can get on the end of it initially. And there's another foul for Syracuse. And again, the referee indicating a potential head injury and stopping play with 19 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it was Asia Cobb for Syracuse who has risen to her feet. Here's it's Alex Wood down for Wake Forest. See the replay here. Yeah, 3 players really going in for the header. And that could always result in, you know, very scary situation. Luckily, it appears as though everything's okay. But again, you want to take extra caution, AJ, with these head injuries. And that's why the athletic trainer is out to attend to Kate Dopsch, I beg your pardon. So Dopsch is the injured player on the Wake side of things.
And Dopsch will stay on the field. with just 19 seconds left. Or rather, she will be forced to go to the sideline.
Yeah, with 19 seconds left, you'll play down a player for the rest of the way.
This win will be Wake Forest's 8th on the year and 3rd in conference play. Syracuse trying to get one last chance. They have 10 seconds to do so.
8, 7,
Almost played out wide.
5, 4,
Fleury quickly plays it.
2, 1, 0.
And that will do it. Wake Forest dominates Syracuse 3-0. A game that SU had opportunities, but ultimately, Sam, the Demon Deacons just too strong.
That was the story of the game. The lack of finishing for Syracuse. Chances